Welcome to the Stadium Journey podcast. We are proud to be part of the VOC Nation Radio Network. Stadium Journey is more than just a wicked awesome podcast. That's my Boston accent for today. Our website, stadiumjourney.com, contains over 2,500 stadium reviews, news items, and features perfect for the traveling sports fan. And in addition to the website, we are all over social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Like us, follow us everywhere you can. The Stadium Journey podcast, we tried to say, is the perfect companion for when you're on a road trip. If you're ever on a road trip again, we'll get there, don't worry. Just type in VOC Nation Radio Network into your podcast search app, or look under the podcast tab on the Stadium Journey website. In addition, all of our old video podcasts are on the Stadium Journey YouTube channel, perfect for binge watching. We also stream live on twitch.tv/danlaw83. Welcome to everyone watching right now. Don't be afraid to participate tonight. And now let me introduce our starting lineup. We've got Dave Cotney with us as always. Follow him online at ProFan9. Mark Witkins can be found at Ballpark Hunter. Our producer, the above average comedian Dan Calachico, is online at DanLaw83. And I am Paul Baker. You can follow me at PuckmanRI. Now, as you all well know, all of you loyal listeners, it's been a crazy year in minor league baseball. In addition to having an entire season canceled and a quarter of the affiliated teams canceled, we continue to see new stadiums being built, teams being moved, and other teams rebranding in search of a new identity, or more importantly, in search of all the money that goes along with a new brand. Tonight, we're going to zero in on the small city of Beloit, Wisconsin, where the Snappers are getting not only a new ballpark, but they're getting a new brand. But there's a twist. There's a resistance movement forming to keep some elements of the Snappers in play along with the rebranding. So tonight we are joined by Ben Witkins. He is the co-founder of one of those groups of fans looking to save Snappy. Ben, welcome to the podcast. And can you start off by telling us a little bit about your group and what you're doing?
Hey, thanks for having me on. Yeah, my name's Ben, and I am a founding member of this resistance movement. I think that's a great term for it. Basically, long story short, the Snappers announced they were going to rebrand a couple months ago, and they came out with 5 finalist names. The names, real quick, were the Cheese Balls, Moo, Polka Pike, Supper Clubbers, and Sky Carp. So they released those 5 names to the community. And chaos ensued. 99% of the feedback from the community was, "What the hell are you guys doing? These names are horrible. Why are you ruining Snappy?" So the first thing we did was we started a petition. The petition quickly grew to it's now at 3,500 plus signatures, but during the next couple months, we realized they're really going to change. They are committed to moving on from the Beloit Snappers. So we pivoted and we said, hey, let's compromise. And the compromise we came up with was a name that we think is a real winner. It is the Beloit River Rockers. Basically, the gist is we keep Snappy, we turn him into a rock star because the team plays on the Rock River in Rock County, and it all works. So that's quickly how we came to be, and here we are, still chugging along and still making noise.
And you've moved on from just a petition to, you guys are embracing social media and expanding your reach. Am I correct?
Yeah, we have a Facebook and Twitter page right now that we encourage everyone to follow. It's at Beloit Rockers. And we also have a change.org petition that we post periodic updates to. So it's the Save Snappy petition on change.org. And if you go there and you click on the updates tab, you will get everything you wanted to know and more about the Beloit Rockers resistance movement.
I had a picture of Star Wars when I mentioned it to resistance.
I'm watching a lot of The Mandalorian, so that works.
Yeah, I got to get into that. I was, Mark did a great article where he interviewed you about the name, but I guess I must have glossed over the name choices, the original 5 name choices. Did you say one of them was the Moo?
Moo.
M-O-O, like a cow?
Yes.
M-O-O, yeah. Yeah, it's about as bad as, I wish I was joking. Rhymes with boo. It's a Wisconsin cliche. I've never shoveled manure. I've never milked a cow, but apparently the San Diego, marketing company that they work with thinks that's what we all do in Wisconsin. So, they just kind of, uh, you know, they gave us these names that are pretty highly questionable. Now, what they'll say is it was a fan vote and these were fan, generated, but we really have some skepticism about where these names came from because there's no one in a 50-mile radius of Beloit who likes these names. So we're very confused.
Yeah, and I think, I looked at these names too, Cheeseball, Sky Carp. I mean, I get it. I think I heard owner Quint Studer who, let's give him appropriate praise for saving the club and financing the ballpark almost entirely. I understand. Yeah, I understand he is saying, hey, we didn't really make a lot of money in advertising and merchandise. Let's do a new rebrand. It worked in Jacksonville. It worked in Binghamton. And, I get why you want to rebrand, but is he overlooking this? How about just redoing the Snappers logo, which has been unchanged since 1995?
Right. Yeah, and that's such an important point. We've said all along we are more thankful for Quinn Studer than I can possibly say on this broadcast or anywhere else. He saved baseball in Beloit with his investment. The team was on the way out. That there's no chance in hell Pullman Field, which many of you have been to, was going to make it.
Yes.
They would have been on the chopping block, and no one would ever disagree. So we saved baseball in Beloit, and we are eternally grateful. But yeah, in terms of the change, I mean, just because it worked one place doesn't mean it's going to work somewhere else. And all changes doesn't mean it's good change. It's got to be smart change. That's what we're advocating for. And we're basically trying to help them stick the landing and help them with implementing smart change. And we feel that the smart change is you maintain the tradition of Snappy, and just give them a rock and roll makeover.
Yeah, because I think one thing you did, which was very creative, you and your brother came up with the logo, but then you took the 5 suggestions and you made them part of the band with Snappy the Turtle. How did that manifest? Yeah,
because again, all we're trying to do is compromise. We are not at odds with the organization. We all want the same thing, Beloit baseball to be successful. So, you're never going to get anywhere in baseball or in life if you're just rigid and not willing to compromise. So we were like, okay, where can we meet in the middle? How about these 5 names they proposed, Cheeseballs, Moo, Poca Pike, etc. They become members of a rock band, again, Rock County, Rock River, rock band. So we came up with Mr. Cheeseball plays the drums, Poca Pike is on accordion, Sky Carp's playing guitar, and they play at the supper club. So we're kind of thinking like, someone jacks a home run, and then similar to like Bernie Brewer going down the slide, maybe the rock band starts jamming in the supper club in right field or something like that. Basically just trying to get ideas out there that might work as a compromise and make it a fun in-game experience.
I think we've seen in minor league baseball how the trend has gone to the outrageous names, and I think it's fair to say that at least some of these 5 fall into the category of outrageous names. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are. How much do you think these names are designed to get the attention outside of Beloit, to get a wider spread attention into a greater market than what's already there?
Right. Yeah, I think that's a huge goal. Quinn Studer wants. Sometimes he talks about how people in other countries have heard about the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, and that really excites him and gives him a lot of and it incentivizes him, I think, to make the brand more broad. Long story short, I think we would be an attraction that would transcend state, who knows, maybe even transcend country. I mean, there's not many minor league baseball teams out there that I know of that have a rock band and just have like a basically a concert-like atmosphere at games. And I think that's a hell of a lot more fun than a team that let's say they become the polka pike, and you go to the stadium and it's incessant polka music playing all game long. Like, how obnoxious would that be? I don't think that would be very fun. But I think you turn your games into a rock concert every single night. That's going to get some serious broad appeal. So I think it's just like he's got to just consider where we're coming from, and the incredible support that we're getting in the community.
Yeah, and I would compare it to what they do in Reading, Pennsylvania. When I went to a game there a couple of years ago, they had about 4 or 5 mascots running around. I don't know what all of them had to do with the team, and they weren't playing in a rock band, but they were there. The kids were excited. They were chasing them. They were posing for pictures. So This idea of having the band play would also create merchandise opportunities, stuffed animals, shirts, hats, memes on social media. I mean, you really can go in a lot of different directions with that concept there.
Totally, and that's such an important point, because the reason why this is all happening right now is because merchandise sales, quite frankly, sucked. So we're like, another thing we're thinking about is, okay, Mr. Studer, we're not going to give you 1 mascot, we're giving you 5. And that we're going to triple, quadruple potential merchandising opportunities. So again, it's all in the spirit of compromise. It's all trying to meet halfway and figure out how we can make this make business sense and sense, just for the fans.
So being a total outsider and being a baseball snob, as I've been told before, minor league baseball is not my forte. So help me out here. What is it about the Snapper's name and or Snappy the Turtle that makes it such a drive for you, something that you really want to fight for?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I mean, for whatever reason, well, there are reasons, but Beloit is obsessed with turtles. Turtle Creek, Turtle Tap, a bar. The Turtle Mounds is like these famous mounds that inspired the Beloit College logo. The town itself, Beloit used, like, I think be called like the town of Turtle Village, I think it used to be called. There's the Turtle Township. It's an obsessed turtle culture there. So when you have, you can kind of imagine how it doesn't sit right when there's this, San Diego marketing company who comes and rebrands the team, and then the turtle goes away. That just doesn't sit right with the community. So that's really like why the city is passionate about turtles. And for me personally, I also have some personal nostalgia wrapped up in this. Admittedly, there's no doubt about it. As well as my older brother, we're both former employees of the team. My brother worked the stadium. The scoreboard. I worked Dippin' Dots. I was Snappy the Turtle. So we both have a lot wrapped up in this, as well as the entire community.
Now, how long are you Snappy the Turtle for?
Periodically for like 2 seasons.
Okay.
It's the worst. To this day, it's the worst job I've ever had because it's like 150 degrees inside the turtle suit. But very proud to say I was Snappy for.
Yeah,
having been a mascot one day myself. Yeah, I can agree with you.
Yeah, I worked for the Cincinnati Riverhawks soccer team one year, and I had to be Hawkster. And I didn't have my shoes on. He usually has these floppy shoes, so all the kids are making fun of my small feet. They were brutal to me. Things they said.
Right. And you gotta just be happy, and you're boiling, and it's try to see through the mascot to make an autograph. It's hard.
Yeah.
So I can beat you both because I was Socks. I was the girl polar bear for the Paw
Oh, how cute.
And I got hit on so bad, and you don't know how bad I wanted to, guys coming up to me, putting on, hey, you look pretty good there, Soxy. And I wanted to say, hey, you're not so bad yourself.
For me, it was the worst when like the 12-year-old kids like entering their rebellion phase would come up to me and like kick me in the shin or something.
That's forgetting
like
there's a person inside the costume.
Wait a minute. Wait. Are you telling me that Snappy the Turtle isn't like a real turtle? What is this you're talking about?
No. He's a 16-year-old kid making $20 a game.
Hey, I would have loved to have done that for $20 a game back in the day. So. But getting back to you and your brother's creation, not only do you have a logo, you have jerseys and away jerseys and alternative jerseys, and different color hats, it's almost becoming a small little enterprise. Is it kind of getting bigger than you ever thought it would get, this whole resistance movement?
It's funny. That's a really good question, and one I haven't been asked.
All right.
And honestly, it's not. Like I knew. I just instinctively knew. I was like, this isn't going to work. So as soon as I heard, I started that petition, and like clockwork, it blew up, and it didn't surprise me one sec, or for 1 minute. And then when we came up with River Rockers, I was like, oh my God. Yes, Snappy in a rock band. I'm playing on the Rock River in Rock County. Of course. It's kind of like when you get an idea and you just know it works. It's just like a warm knife through butter. It's just like, or like if the Beatles, when they wrote Yesterday, I'm sure they're just like, yes, perfect. This is, and it was one of those moments. So it doesn't surprise me at all, actually. And I'm just like, at this point, I just want to see them consider it as a viable alternative, and I want them to talk to us I want to get some communication with the organization going.
Because you said that everything's copacetic between you and the organization. What have they actually said to you?
Yeah, so we had when we were doing the original Save the Beloit Snappers petition before we pivoted to this River Rockers proposal, we were in periodic conversation with Quint Studer. I mean, I had an hour-long, really, really nice conversation with him. We exchanged a couple emails. We sent him some presentations. He responded in kind, like to our presentations, and we kind of pivoted accordingly based on kind of what he was saying. And I thought we just had a really good relationship. I will admit, though, we haven't. It's kind of gone dark for a while, and to a certain extent, I totally get that. There's with so much upheaval in minor league baseball now.
Yeah,
he has a million things on his plate, let alone all the. He's involved in so many things in various communities, the Pensacola community. He's got so many things on his plate. So to a certain extent, I really do understand. But looking forward to getting some more communication for sure, and I hope to connect with him eventually.
Yeah, because I think you would be happy if they just kept Snappy the turtle in some form, or just keep the Snappers turtle logo and name.
Right. That's really at the base of it. That's what we're wanting to do here. We're wanting to maintain Snappy, in a meaningful way.
Yeah, definitely. Because I get it. It's been around for 25 years. I don't think the logo has even been tinkered with. I think it featured the Milwaukee Brewers colors of 1995, which were not the same of the past few years, if I recall. It had the gold and dark. I remember the Brewers had that little kind of awkward phase in the mid-90s.
Oh yeah, I remember.
What is this?
The Jeremy Brunitz years and winning 56 games a years and that was a brutal time period. But no, it's funny you say about Snappy. Rumor has it Snappy was like someone in the front office of around 95 or whatever when they made the change to the Snappers, like someone in his family was like, my nephew knows a little bit about graphic design. Maybe he can design a logo for us, and that's what happened, and that's how Snappy came to be. And basically, he's remained untouched since for the most part.
No, because
it's like he's due for a makeover.
Because I found an article on newspapers.com announcing the change and the introduction, and I'm thinking, and it was from the fall of '94. I'm thinking that logo hasn't changed. It's the same
There's
logo.
one change. He used to have like a B on his hat, and then it changed to an S. But I think that's like the only change.
Yes. Okay.
So it's like he's and you talk to Quint Studer always is like, everyone hates change. I'm used to this. They're going to say bad things no matter what. But I think what we're finding is that people aren't really resistant to change. They realize that change is needed. They realize that Snappy needs a makeover. Yeah. They just don't want to do the nuclear option basically, which is Beloit cheese balls or something like that.
Yeah, because I know when Jacksonville switched from the Suns to the Jumbo Shrimp, I think that was just announced. I don't think they had a fan vote. I could be wrong. I remember when that happened. I was like, "What? The Jumbo Shrimp? Are they serious?" But it financially did well for them. So, I don't blame Mr. Studer for wanting to make such a nuclear change to come up with a
sure.
crazy name. Yeah.
For sure. Not all rebrands are created equal. You know,
Yeah.
some work, some don't. Look at the New Orleans Baby Cakes. I mean, that basically went up in smoke.
And then the failed attempt of the Staten Island River Rats, Pizza Rats, which the New York Yankees hated. They didn't want that change to be made. So,
right.
You know, it's it's not all minor league ball towns are created equally. All right, Paul, you had something to say?
And isn't there a precedent for a team to like go through the 5 choices and then pick something and go off the board? I think Rocky Mountain Vibes did that.
Yes, they did.
Yep. You're right. You're right about that. It's a good point.
Yeah, because ownership can say, I like this name and it's my team. Screw you guys.
Right. Yeah.
Which, you know, if you own the team and you build your own ballpark, I guess you can do whatever you want. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. Quinn said that in initial one of the early media appearances we had. He's like, "Well, if you guys have $12 to $17 million, you can definitely name the team if you want."
Yeah. He put his money where his mouth is. So, yeah. But not only are you excited about maybe the new name or the old name or a compromise, you're getting a new ballpark, ABC Supply Stadium. Pullman Field probably was not regarded as one of our favorite minor league ballparks for some of us who have been there. But what are some of your memories of the old ballpark, and what are you looking forward to with the new ballpark?
Yeah, it's funny. Pullman Field is one of those things. It's like, you know, when you're a kid and, you know, everything's just bigger and larger and cooler. As growing up as a kid, Pullman Field was my baseball field, you know, so it was the coolest place in the world to me. I love that place. Looking back on it now, whoa, it's lacking. And again, there's no doubt we would have lost a Major League Baseball affiliation without Mr. Suter. So, I mean, it's just like, thank God he invested. But yeah, nonetheless, had a lot of great memories there. I mean, just roaming around as you know, a teenager, working that summer job, selling Dippin' Dots. You know, there's some magical times. You know, the fireworks nights, you know, watching Prince Fielder and Ricky Weeks and Tony Gwynn Jr. on that 2003 baseball team, which I thought was like the coolest minor league baseball team of all time. You know, just like, you know, so many great memories there. And then, you know, my brother working there, me being like a wide-eyed younger brother and seeing my brother in the press box and seeing him work the scoreboard. I thought that was the coolest job of all time. And, you know, there's just, you know, going there with my grandparents, you know, family, friends, it's, you know, the memories are endless, but it's just, it wasn't going to work anymore. And super, super pumped for ABC Supply Stadium.
Now, how much further, in location, we know that the new ballpark's going to be downtown. Where was Pullman Field in relation?
Pullman Field it's so weird. I mean, because it was like a non-for-profit thing. It was in the middle of this residential area.
That's what I thought.
It was a really, really unique place for a stadium. It's almost like how Lambeau Field's like right in a residential neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Pullman Field was very much the same kind of way.
Yeah, because that's unfortunate. That's how they built minor league ballparks in the 1980s. It's like, let's just build aluminum bleachers and fans will come out and watch, because Rockford and Madison all had teams in the Midwest League at that time, all had very similar stadiums, and they're both gone from affiliated ball, and Beloit was able to hang on there.
Yeah, we're hanging on, man. By the grace of God, we're hanging.
They hung on there.
Barely by the skin of our teeth, but we're getting lucky.
I know when they made the change, they said Kane County was out, so I had a feeling that Pullman didn't get their act together. I mean, Beloit, Kane County would have been kept, and Beloit would have been, you know, would have been perfect in the Northwoods League if that would have been the case. But you know, with the ABC Supply Stadium, is this looking to rebuild the downtown? Is it the ballpark plus more?
So Beloit's been going through this crazy renaissance. It's honestly, there should be books written about it. It's unbelievable. It was bombed out. Industry left around the year 2000. Mm-hmm. The city was going absolutely nowhere. But
Ben, how big is Beloit?
It's about 37,000 people.
That's a small town.
Very small.
But it's going through this crazy revitalization right now. So it's just this booming industry, booming business, and really it's kind of like culminating in ABC Supply Stadium. Quinn Suter has talked about this idea of like bookends to a downtown. Like his perfect downtown is like, you know, this like a really cool attraction on one end and then like a really cool attraction on the other end, and you like walk and drink and eat like as you go.
I like that idea.
In his mind, ABC Supply Stadium is the bookend to Beloit's downtown. So it's kind of like the capstone or the final piece really to make it just a kick-ass place to go and visit. And Quinster says, I don't want Beloit to be known as a city that is in between Chicago and Beloit and Madison. Like, I want Beloit to be the place people go on the weekends.
A destination.
And honestly, it's like if this stadium thing works, if this team works, I mean, it's going to be a really, really, I think it's going to be successful and majorly. So.
All right, Dave.
So we recently went through the big purge and saw a number of teams not make the cut in to become or to remain affiliated teams. Was there a big sigh of relief with Beloit making the cut, or was everybody pretty much sure that they were going to make the cut no matter?
So in all honesty, like, because of this significant investment that they're basically like, we're going to build the most kick-ass stadium and we're going to make it so good, Major League Baseball would be crazy to say no. So what they did was, like, Major League Baseball came out with these specifications that all stadiums need to abide by. Like good facilities, good locker rooms, that sort of thing. So what they did is they literally, there's a checklist. And when they were building ABC Supply Stadium, they built the stadium to a T, what MLB wants. So it's like, if you do that, you're going to get a stadium. So there wasn't a lot of surprise when the announcement finally came, because they literally did what MLB told them to do.
Will the ballpark be ready for next? Well, if there's a next year,
I hope.
Yeah, they're saying it's on track.
Not a lot of construction can happen in Wisconsin in the winter, I'm guessing.
yeah, but as far as we know, the last report was that everything's moving along. The really the major buzzkill is just is there going to be a season or not? Like, that's really the bigger.
Now, have you been by the construction site? Or you?
I haven't, but I've received pictures from family and friends. I'm based in Minneapolis, so I've been down. I've been doing the quarantine thing, so I haven't been getting out too much.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. It's we have a few new ballparks being built here, and that I pass through and just drive through, see what's going on, and take some pictures, getting excited if there's a season, because that's the thing right now. They haven't made an announcement of the team. We don't know when the season's going to start. Mm-hmm. We really don't know how some of the minor leagues are going to be situated. So you live up in Minneapolis, and of course St. Paul is going to be in AAA. We don't even know what that's going to look like. So, wow, so many question marks. It's almost like a cliffhanger.
I know.
We're in right now for baseball. So,
yeah. I was watching your guys' earlier shows, and you guys just dissecting all the different scenarios of how all the different chips could fall. And I was like, man, how do you guys keep up with all this stuff? I was like, it's like the off season of upheaval, basically.
That's why there's four of us on this show.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's either there's something with my brain that just is a little bit off, or I'm just a big baseball fan.
It's the former.
I think so.
Dave, what you got?
I think so.
So you said that it wasn't really a big surprise that you guys made the cut. What about finding out that you were going to be, I say you like you're the Beloit Snappers, but we'll go with that for now. How were you surprised that the affiliation turned out to be with the Miami Marlins, and how are you feeling about being affiliated with Marlins, or does it even matter?
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, speaking as Ben Witkins, the guy who has nothing to do with the Beloit Snappers, I was, I don't really care too much about the affiliation. I just want them to have an affiliation. There were a million different, that was another thing you guys were predicting, what affiliation will it be? And there was a million different predictions. And, when it finally was announced it was the Marlins, that was a big surprise to me. But it kind of made sense because, Quinn's got a Florida ties and all the other, I don't know. It kind of worked, I feel like, but I was very surprised. So
does the owner own more minor league teams? other than just Beloit, or?
Yeah, he owns the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, which is also in the Marlins farm system.
I was going to say, did
And
they
another
not just go
fantastic
to
ballpark,
did they not just become the AA affiliate of the Marlins?
Well,
As
they were
part-
the AA.
They
No,
were?
the
Because
Jacksonville became the AAA.
Jackson, yeah, the Marlins seemed to be the major league team with the most kind of upheaval and change in their
Yeah, them in
in
Minnesota.
their minor league affiliates.
Damn it, Jeter.
Yeah, because I think Jacksonville's AAA, AA will be Pensacola. Am I correct? And then
Are they moving to the Southern League? I didn't think so.
I could be wrong.
I should know this off the top of my head.
I should
but
know too. I'm the baseball.
Yeah, you're the minor league guy, Mark. Come on.
Hold on for a second.
Um,
I have the
All
chart.
right,
I have the
we'll
chart.
keep talking.
You're fired. There's no chance you're fired.
All right. No, I got it. Miami, Jacksonville, Pensacola, and Beloit, and then Jupiter. That's what I have. But
Jupiter.
So the Midwest League is actually moving up from low A to high A.
Yeah, yep. They got. I know. It's like it all worked out so well. It's like not only do you haven't maintain your MLB affiliation, but you also go up a level. And
Yeah,
from what
that's cool.
I'm hearing is that is not like insignificant. You're going to get a lot better talent, and it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah,
So
instead of having one or two guys that make it up to the big leagues, you might get 4 or 5 now.
Right, exactly.
No, and I'm not saying that facetiously. It's
Right.
the truth.
So Pensacola was with the Twins before, and Jacksonville was the AA for the Marlins, so they've moved
Yes.
up to AAA. Pensacola is now the AA,
yes,
and then Beloit. Is it a little help here? High A or
Beloit will be the
Advanced
high
A.
A now. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay?
IA.
I don't
So-
know why they just call them A, B, C, D now.
Yeah, since you're into like changing the world, Ben, how about you get on that? Let's enough of this high A, low A, short A, long A stuff.
Right.
Let's come up with
One,
something.
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Oxante Goo.
Yeah, class
The
A.
ABC.
That's what I just
Yeah.
said.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember I was making a graphic, and I literally spent like 20 minutes on it. I was like, wait, is it high A? Is it advanced A? Is it like, what the hell is this?
Middle
I don't even
tier
know what the
A.
difference is between high A and low A, and I don't know.
One's high and one's low.
One's high and one's
Geographic.
but
always
your
high.
better talent goes to high A, and your lower talent. I mean, rookie like then there was like short season A ball, which I'm kind of glad that's done. I mean, I'm upset that some teams are not playing anymore, but a little.
I want to hear it. I lost all our teams out here.
Yeah, try
Oh, man.
to follow.
You lost all your teams out there. Then AHL said same.
Bye.
Hey,
Bye.
up here we had one affiliated team, and we still have one affiliated team, and they stayed with the Jays. That's
You
it.
gonna go on a road trip to go see them, Dave?
Nope, not allowed to leave the province, so nope.
Oh wow!
You have to jump like 6 provinces to get all the way there.
I've been there though. I've been to Vancouver Canadians. Yeah, they're pretty nice.
Wow. So, all right. So Ben, if I'm planning on going to Beloit this year and
Nice.
checking out a game.
Get me some spotted cow, please.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What are some things you recommend doing in Beloit? Brewery wise, food wise, to some out of towners, some of us from the East Coast.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, it's great. I definitely check out the downtown. Just like hang out downtown. There's a lot of cool stuff down there. I can't believe I'm saying this now, but there's sushi restaurants. There's high-end burger places like this. That's not the Beloit I know, but it's the Beloit that exists now.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to see what's going on. If you wanna keep it a little more ratchet, if you will, go to like some of the divier bars, which are fantastic and definitely my favorites. There's one nearby called the Turtle Tap. You'll never
Turtle Tap.
guess, but it's one of my favorite bars, and they actually just endorsed our movement here. So we're gonna
Nice.
they're going-
No,
yeah we're
Corporate
gonna
sponsorship.
yeah we're gonna have an announcement about them pretty soon, but yeah, no, that'd be my recommendation. Just check out downtown, check out some of the divey bars, and just have a good time.
Yeah. Any good breweries in the area or?
Yeah,
not
there
familiar
is
with
one that just started, but I unfortunately haven't been to it yet. I think it's
Okay.
like Oh man, the name escapes me, but it's like Q5 Brewery or something like that. Or I'm butchering the name, and I'm losing some credit here.
And Ben, for our listeners who may not even know where Beloit is, Where is Beloit?
G5 Brewery.
G. There you go.
G5?
That's what. See, a Q kind of looks like a G, so I think that's what I was.
It's not too
I'm
far
sorry,
from
what-
Madison, if I remember.
Yeah, it is on the Illinois-Wisconsin border. It's about 45 minutes to an hour from Madison, but it's literally right on the border. You can hurl a rock from ABC Supply Stadium and it'll end up in Illinois. So
Yeah, not too far from Milwaukee, because I remember doing a Brewers game and a Snappers game in the same day.
oh yeah, yeah.
So it was maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah. Growing up, I would make
Milwaukee.
every weekend I'd be going up to Miller Park as a kid. It'd be fun.
Nice.
Miller Park. What's it called now?
Oh God, don't even remind me. I think it's like State Farm or something like that.
That's Ben's next project.
Oh God, I literally forgot.
American Family Field.
Oh yeah, that's what it
Oh,
is.
yeah,
That's a tough
I didn't
pill to
even know
swallow.
that. I had to look it up.
that sounds worse than cheese balls or supper clubbers.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I don't know. I went on when I was in Milwaukee. This was a few years back. We took the Miller tour, and it was awful. I mean, I'm kind of a beer snob, I guess, but yeah, I couldn't drink that stuff.
So you don't like Miller Lite, Paul?
You know what? Well, if it's cold, when you get those buckets, the 5 beers for $10 and a nice bucket.
And it's hot outside.
You can do. I'll do Miller Lights all day. I'll do a Miller Light way before I do a Bud Light.
You should be drinking some Surly up there in Minnesota.
Yeah, I love Surly. Surly Furious is my jam.
Now that's a brewery tour, not a brewery tour, but a place to visit.
Yeah,
Wow.
Summit as well. I love Summit.
Yeah, Summit's awesome too.
I remember when
you guys might laugh. The best brewery tour I ever went on was the Utica Brewery.
Utica Club?
Utica Club at the end,
Utica
man.
Club. Ba-ba-ba-na.
Yeah, I think I can top that. When I was in Belgium, we did a tour of a brewery, and it was right in the middle of an old city. Like we're talking 1500s, 1400s kind of deal. And the bottling plant was a few miles from downtown. The brewery was right downtown. So they were building a pipeline under the ground where they would pipe the beer to the bottling factory. That was cool.
that sounds awesome.
Right.
Let's talk about Pullman Field again for just a minute. I'm thinking back to the time I visited, and what I remember most about Pullman Field is the outdoor skating rink that was next door to it.
Oh yeah.
I think I read somewhere that if the downtown ballpark isn't ready in time, they're going to play part of the season at Pullman before they transition over.
Yeah, and me and Mark are going to get drunk at Pullman Field, and then we're going to get drunk at ABC.
That's the
Stadium.
plan. That is what I want to do.
Right, so if anyone wants to make if part of the season is played at Pullman, what do you recommend that a visiting fan does? If any of our listeners are going to head up to Beloit to get one last crack at Pullman Field,
What do I recommend?
Odds maybe, but
What do I recommend that they do at Pullman Field?
yeah. What is it about Pullman Field that makes it so? Besides just it being old.
This is where I wish I had really great anecdotes about Pullman Field. I mean, to be honest, it's not that great. It's
great. I sympathize. I've got a park like Pullman in my life, McCoy Stadium, which growing up I thought was the greatest thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I don't think it's the greatest thing, but then you go to other places and you see amenities.
Yeah.
And you see what can be done in a stadium. So I get it.
I mean, they have they did. I don't know if they still do, but they had something called a True Wisconsin Burger, which is a burger with, I believe it has cheddar cheese, and cheese curds basically on a burger. So I would definitely recommend getting the True Wisconsin Burger, as well as I believe there's a Snappy Burger. At least there was last time I was there, which is a burger with a split brat. So the brat comes out of the bun, so it looks like a turtle head kind of.
Well, that's funky.
Yeah, so that's
even a fat guy like me is gone. Whoa.
Bratwurst and a burger.
Whoa.
All the things you didn't know you wanted.
I mean, I want it, but whoa.
Oh, I thought you were just woeing at the thought that it was made out of turtle.
No, look at me.
Turtle soup. Turtle soup.
Wear the
cheese-
pork roll shirt.
fried
Yeah.
pork roll.
But they got like a cool, like, it's called like on deck. It's like this wooded patio in right
Yeah.
field. And honestly, I can't think of a much better place to just drink like 14 Miller Lights and just like hang out and watch like some single A or advanced A baseball.
High
Whatever
A
A baseball, the
Yeah.
A-hole baseball, whatever.
I'm
Hey,
telling you,
Ben, that's where I spent my night at the Snappers, was on that
Yeah.
right field deck. So.
Oh yeah, was it nice?
I'm telling you, with the year we had, I'll drink any beer as long as I can watch a baseball game.
So
Lots
I'll
of
eat
it.
anything at this point if I just go
Yeah.
to a baseball game and not worry about dying.
I'll drink a Schaefer beer.
All right,
Yeah,
now
seriously.
don't get hasty.
You know the old marketing slogan for Schaefer was back in the day, right?
I don't know.
Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Oh, wow. It's tough to drink more than one.
We used to, in my college days, this is back in the late 80s.
That is some
in the
bad
late
beer.
80s. A case of Schaefer was cheaper than a case of soda. So we'd
I
go
can
down to the
believe
liquor
that.
store.
It probably still is.
That
We'd
to
go
me,
down to
You
Eddie's
just
and pick up a case of beer for $5.
but that to me is a red flag.
you just go with a bottle cork, get yourself some Schaefer.
yeah,
Utica Club.
but when you're in your 30s and 40s, it's a red flag. When
Yeah.
you're 18,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look back at some things. I'm like, I wouldn't drink that again.
No. Well, Yingling used to be cheaper than Bud at one time growing up in Jersey, and people consider that an inferior product. And, now it's out here in some parts of the Midwest, and people are going gaga over it.
I keep seeing, what is that? It's not Rolling Rock. It's that natural
Tennis-
ice. Somebody's throwing out
Yeah.
natural ice at the dumpster. I'm like, why? Why drink it and throw it out? Throw it out first.
Natty Daddy. How about that?
Oh, God.
I'll never forget going to like high school parties, and there was a brand called Classic Ice. Have you guys heard of it? It was I'll never forget the price. It was $3.99 for a 12-pack.
Classic ice is just
And,
ice in a bottle, isn't it?
Yeah,
Classic
yeah.
Ice.
It was the worst thing
like a quarter of a beer.
imaginable.
Yeah, there's some beers that just disappear. Like there was Southpaw Light, which my old roommate would just drink like it was candy, like water.
Can somebody explain to me what and why Bud Dry was a thing?
Everything dry was a thing. It was
There was ice beer.
Everything
Remember
was
ice
ice.
beer?
Everything
That
was dry.
let's do. That was like the mid '90s. Yeah, it was. We didn't
Yeah,
know
they
what
were
that was
teal cans.
before craft beer was big in this country. So
Matt said that's like Schlitz Schlitz malt liquor, 11
Schlitz
for an
malt
18
liquor.
rack.
hey, my brother-in-law, when we go to a Bulls game up in Chicago, he always wants to get the malt liquor. So. It's like his tradition.
It's the
He
only way to
does.
get
He
through
goes.
both
It brought the
these days.
Bulls good luck in the '90s. Like okay.
Well, when I was in Europe, and
I had real
no,
beer.
here
Wait,
we
wait,
have.
Hey, Dave wonders why we call him a snob.
Wait,
I am a
Dave,
snob, totally.
Dave, hold on a
was
second.
in
Hold on,
Europe.
wait. You had Michael Jordan on the 90 Bulls and you thought the beer was good luck?
No, that was my brother-in-law.
I don't, but
Yeah.
But-
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Michael
exactly.
Jordan it was the beer.
You know what? Fans are superstitious.
Okay.
They're superstitious.
Anyway, Dave's going to Europe.
Good,
Yeah,
Dave.
so here,
I'm kidding.
Stella Artois is kind of like, it's kind of a bougie beer, right? Imported.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. That's my
Really?
favorite. Yes. Nothing is better than fighting a fire or being at a fire and getting home at 5 a.m. and cracking open an ice cold Stella Artois after being at a fire for 8 hours.
I
Yes.
like Stella. We went to Europe, and the host family offered us beer. Now he had a beer fridge, which is like a full size fridge, fully stocked in his garage. And so we were like, well, do you have Stella?
Yeah,
And he looked at us like, Stella? It's like the Bud Light of Belgium.
Lord. Please don't tell me that.
Wow, really? Wow. Well, it's better
wanna-
than any. It's better
You
than
actually
any.
want to drink that?
It's better than any of the American crap I've ever had. Oh, we went to a party once. My friend was just buying $6 buds. I'm like, why are you doing that to yourself?
Oh, Bud, yuck.
It's
Well,
just,
Ben, I told you we may end up in a weird place on this podcast.
Oh,
Listen,
man,
beer-
yeah, keep going. Keep
Beer
going.
is at sporting venues. We're covering all bases here.
Yeah, I love it.
And brats. We haven't even talked about brats yet.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about cheese
I
curds
told
either.
a story about when my wife and I went to Yankee Stadium, and the girl in the tank top was trying to sell me a beer, and she kept bending over to get the one on the bottom of the thing. And I was like, "No, you're not getting a beer."
Can I get a beer?
I said, "What beer?"
Listen, I haven't brought up the other thing yet.
That's good.
So,
All right.
change subjects.
So Ben, I guess before we let you go, I guess the proper thing to do, let's, if you want to let our listeners know where they can follow the cause and support the Beloit River Rockers.
Yeah, let me oh man, if I can, let's see if I can figure this out. All right, choose virtual background. You ready for this?
Yeah, Ben's gonna be
Oh, look
fancy.
at that.
Look at that.
Here, I'm going to move the thing too. Ready? Oh, that was wrong. I did that wrong.
Well, just in case you can't see it,
I
just in
moved
case
it.
it's blocked. All right, sweet. Yeah, follow us on Facebook at Beloit Rockers, or on Twitter at Beloit Rockers, and we post pretty frequently, and I think it's pretty fun feed. I mean, we post concept uniforms, we post periodic updates of what's going on. We post like the endorsements we get. We're getting some fun endorsements from community leaders in Beloit and small businesses, and that's fun. And all kinds of fun things. We engage with Stadium Journey all the time, and we really appreciate.
Very interactive account too. If you want to reach out to it.
We appreciate the back and forth for sure. So, we have a good time, and we encourage everyone to give us a follow.
Just be careful that you could be confused easily that you're talking to Ben when you're actually talking to Nick, or vice versa.
Oh, right. Yeah, we got a small team of people, so yeah, I guess maybe it's
One of their
it's a crapshoot.
interns.
Yeah.
He's getting that.
Ben, have you guys had any celebrity endorsers or followers yet? Or?
Well, we got Rod Godfredson of Austin's Barbershop today, so that was pretty good. He is a Beloit institution.
There you go.
And he has been cutting Beloit hair for 40 years. And he's the New York Times came to town and did a piece on Beloit's revitalization because, as I mentioned, it's just like going crazy. And one of the people they talked to in that was Rod Godfredson. He's like a pillar of the community. So we got him. We got some exciting ones lined up, which I can't say at the moment, but we're moving on up. We just have a couple more people to to get across the finish line, most notably Quinn Studer. So we'll see what happens there.
Beautiful.
Well,
we're going to be following. Oh, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
No, that's just great to hear that Beloit is having that rejuvenation, because so many small towns, especially in the Midwest, Upper Midwest, have not been that fortunate. I travel throughout Indiana all the time, and I'm like, what happened to this town? Where did something go wrong? So
right.
Beloit is not that hard to find, especially if you're driving up to Madison, or if you're going from Chicago. I think it's on the way from Chicago to Minneapolis.
Yeah, just go to my podunk town in Jersey.
Yeah,
just
pay all those tolls on 90, right? And then
Yeah.
you get to you get over to Beloit. So it's right off the interstate, not too far.
Yeah, it's a really good stop, man. There's all sorts of things to do there.
Hey, you're already ahead of the game, because I didn't know Beloit existed until you guys start showing up on the timeline. I was like, well, I don't know.
So that's awesome, Ben. We'll be following you guys with great interest, and we wish you all the best of luck in your efforts to save Snappy.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Can't thank you guys enough for giving me the opportunity to come on your platform and tell our story. And rest assured, we'll be continuing to follow you guys long after all this is over. So, and hopefully we can meet in the flesh, this upcoming season.
And hopefully,
Mark, I'm looking at you.
Hopefully you come back on the show when the good news, I'm going to will it into existence, comes through.
Or come on the season. Come on the show when
with bad news. We can do the typical
Yeah.
Dan thing and just
Yeah, and we can just let it fly, and we can all have a couple beers and just have a good time with that. So
I'm down for that.
We'll check out G5 Brewery and grab some
cheese. Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay with that. Get that fatty fried cheese in my buddy. In my body.
Your buddy. Well,
in my buddy.
Absolutely.
In my booty. Comes out my booty. All right.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on the show, and we love having you. Best of luck with everything.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. I'll drop off now. But
that was Ben Witkins from the Beloit River Rockers. Thanks, Ben. We are going to root for you guys and root for you hard. in your efforts to overthrow the evil empire that is the Beloit Snappers. No, just kidding. We just hope it all works out for everybody involved, and we're thrilled that a town like Beloit can keep baseball through this winter. You guys certainly were a long shot going in. But this is usually the part of the show where we recap our visits over the last couple of weeks. And guess what? We actually have a visit to talk about this week, ladies and gentlemen. That's exciting. But first, I'm going to steal the spotlight because I have some news too. I didn't have a visit over the past 2 weeks, but guess what?
You have COVID.
No. I got tested negative, man. I've got an announcing gig coming up.
Oh.
The Middle East Conference announced that they are going to have a basketball season. So starting in 2 weeks, I will be at the UMass Dartmouth Trip Athletic Center doing the PA for games. And I don't think we're going to have any fans in attendance, but hey, I'll get to be able to go to a game or two. So I'm wicked excited.
I'll be at the game, so screw all of you people.
Yeah, for those of you who are watching the YouTube, we had a lengthy conversation during our commercial break there about Celebrity Jeopardy on SNL. So that's why everybody may slip into Sean Connery accents from time to time.
Good topic.
But Mark,
That's
you actually had a
awesome.
visit.
Very awesome news, Paul. I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, since the NWHL screwed me out of gigs, at least UMass Dartmouth came through. It'll be a shortened season. It'll be a 10-game conference-only schedule. But hey, 5 home games for me, 5 for the men's team and 5 for the women's. I am excited, and I just can't hide it.
You take what you can get these days.
Absolutely. So how about you, Mark? Where were you?
I was at the Stardome, which is a high school basketball gym here in Indiana. It's in Bern, Indiana, and it's about a half hour south of Fort Wayne, kind of in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. It was founded by Mennonites back in the 1800s. And I almost, when you drive through town, you can see a lot of horse and buggy carriages. So interesting town. The McDonald's has signs in German that say thank you and welcome. And when you drive into the parking lot, so it's yeah, and it has a clock tower in the center of town. So it's not a very exciting town, but it's not a lot going on there right now, but it has a lot of cool little features there that kind of stand it out from your regular Indiana town. But the Stardome is where their high school team plays. It's the South Adams Starfires. It's a dome stadium. It used to sit about 4,000 fans. Now it sits about 2,800. Their center court logo is an exact replica of the 1984 LA Olympics logo, but it's in black and gold. And fan capacity was capped at 250 for the game. There might have been about 120 in attendance. So a little bit different atmosphere. You didn't have the student sections. You didn't have the old timers sitting underneath the basket screaming and yelling at everybody, because they're about 70 and 80 years old. They don't care who they offend. It's funny. When you go to these high school games in Indiana, you got these lifers that have been going to those games for years, and they'll tell you they'll tell you exactly how they feel. Concessions were limited to snacks and soda, no hot dogs or popcorn, pizza slices. So it was a little bit different way of life at this game, but it was good to be back at a high school game in Indiana because it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen basketball. I think Connorsville was the last event I attended, and that was about 4 days before COVID lockdown, shut down everything. And that was a packed house. So this was 250 people in a 3,000-seat gym. But it's a beautiful gym. Reviews coming up, I think, next week. And videos coming out as well. So be on the lookout for that, because the Stardome doesn't get a lot of attention here in Indiana, but it's a definitely cool place to visit if you're in the area. For me, it's about an hour and 40-minute drive. But if you live in Fort Wayne, it's a little bit closer. So some of these gyms you have to travel off the interstate about 30 miles to get to in the middle of the night. So definitely it's a passion project of mine. But it was fun to be at a game.
Like you said, we'll take our sports where we can get it nowadays.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Hopefully we'll have more and more trips to talk about before too long.
I am going. I'm definitely going to another gym on Saturday, maybe 2, if things work out. So I'll have something to talk about next time as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We don't even have high school basketball here right now. We don't have any high school sports at all. Nothing.
No, it's weird out here because it depends what part of the state you're in. I think some states have games but no fans. Some of the colleges are not allowing fans. Like Indiana State basketball, they renovated their arena, but they're not allowing fans into the games. University of Miami, Ohio is now allowing fans either to their basketball games. So there are events taking place around here. You just have to find out if they're allowing fans in because, back in the day, you just go buy a ticket or you let the AD know you're coming. Now you got to make sure they're allowing people in the game. So you don't want to drive an hour and a half and there's no game.
Exactly, or you can't get in.
Yeah. So
out here, same thing. High school sports are happening, but like basketball, you can't go to basketball games.
No.
But parents are allowed to go to hockey games. So it's like you said, it depends on the venue, depends on the school, depends on
Everybody's
the state.
trying to figure this crap out and
Yeah.
push the foot around it,
Yeah, you just check in before.
Oh,
Like I said, at the game, everybody had a face mask on, the cheerleaders, the coaches, athletic department people. So
Do you know who needed a face mask? A lot of the people associated with the Cleveland Browns. How do you like
How
that?
about the Browns?
Was
They're
it like
without a
16
coach.
years since you make the playoffs? They make the playoffs and they're losing like
2002.
4 coaches and a few players. And
Yeah.
so my poor dad, my dad's a diehard Cleveland Browns fan. So I feel sorry for the guy. But hey,
you know who I feel sorry for?
My
in the
Dolphins
NFL?
didn't get any help to get in the playoffs.
I was going to say, you know who I feel sorry for in the NFL?
The Giants?
I really feel sorry for the Giants that they played so piss poorly.
Oh, wow. 6
Come on, they won 6 games. They deserve to be in the playoffs.
They played so piss poorly that they are mad at us for not attempting to win that game so they could get in the playoffs because they played so fucking well.
Yeah, because they're 6-10.
I got blocked by 2 New York Giants reporters today because
I said the Jets couldn't go 6-10 and make the playoffs.
You guys suck. We all sucked. First of all, the NFC East is a joke, and none of them should be in the playoffs based on principle. But that's neither here nor there. I got blocked by 2 New York Giants reporters today because they were
WFAN.
they were like, we're trying to tank the credit to the game and the tradition and disgrace to the game of football. It's an embarrassment. So we started pulling up tweets of them saying that they wish the Giants tanked last season.
Hey, if anybody has written the book on tanking, it's Philly.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
They tank all the time and win all the time.
Well, I mean, it's funny. Being a Jet fan, that's all we've been talking about this year is going 0-16 to get the number 1 draft pick. When the Jets won against the Rams,
Jets can't even tank right.
New York radio was like, I can't believe they won this game. It was a meaningless game.
Listen, a-holes. Not you guys. There's a difference between tanking for a draft pick.
Clearing that up.
Yeah. That's a different kind of a-hole. Your a-hole's different type. No. There's a difference between tanking, getting a draft pick, and then not trying the last game because why? So you could get in the playoffs? Maybe play better. Joe Judge is an asshole. And those 2 guys who blocked me that were like, I merely suggested. Oh, I bet you did. Well, goodbye. I'm sorry.
The Giants would have been 6-10 and would have been in the playoffs. That's the CFL, not the NFL.
You want that? The playoffs?
Oh,
none of this
the line,
CFL
Mark.
bashing.
I
Boomer Esiason is getting for that already.
I want it clear that the guy from North Jersey said that, not the guy from South Jersey.
And then, of course, who was Arizona's backup quarterback, the reigning Grey Cup champion QB?
No.
Was getting reamed?
I would never insult Canadian football like that.
Yeah,
oh, no. Hey, listen, I get how I support Canadian football.
No, I'm kidding. I used to
get made fun of because I remember the Argos made it one year with a 7-11 record, and what kind of league is that you root for?
But read that all day, and I was like, hey, do you guys want to take some responsibility for playing, crappy?
Hey, look at college football, man. You can make a bowl game. You can make the Shoeshine Bowl if you have a 4-4 4-17 record or whatever.
Yeah.
Now.
Way too many bowl games. Way too many.
Way too many.
I don't invent. I'm like, hey, they're at the food trough bowl. Well, I'm not going to watch that.
Hey, but you know what was funny? What was it? Nebraska dancing around with the trophy and broke it into a million.
Yes, and it was brand new. It was like the first trophy. Like it was
You
a
think they
brand
would
new
have
bowl.
secured
I
it to the
think
base better?
wasn't that the Mayo Bowl?
Yeah, the Mayo
Now
Bowl.
that that has to do with like the doctor thing, right? Like the clinic, and
Oh,
not
not mayonnaise?
mayonnaise.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Because when you attach it to a football game, it kind of sounds like mayonnaise.
Yeah. And the Nebraska players are dancing around with the trophy, and whoops, broken trophy.
Well,
So
since we're on football, though, I got to say, made my day probably about 5 minutes before we got on the air. My all-time most favorite football player ever in life made the next step towards making the Hall of Fame. Zach Thomas, former Miami Dolphin, made the next step. It's going to be tight. I don't know if he's going to get it, but
he's not a Hall of Famer.
By the way,
not yet.
By the way, Dave, I did see a lot of people who were like retweeting Giants players going like, you should feel bad for the Dolphins because you guys suck.
Yeah, Dolphins were 10-6 and didn't make it.
Yeah. The opposite, you a-holes.
No.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I really tend not to like the Bills. The Bills look really good. Now,
Wait, now Mark on our wrestling podcast, he's been a friend for years. He's a big Buffalo Bills fan. And he just had to explode last week on the show. So can I just say, and I just let him have it because, you never know. But every 21 years, he gets to be excited.
that I think, you remember all those years when like, oh, well, the Super Bowl is really the Giants or the Cowboys against the 49ers in the semis. It could be this year the same thing on the opposite. Like the Super Bowl this year could end up being
Buffalo,
the
Kansas City.
AFC Buffalo, Kansas City.
Buffalo is good. I mean, they would have been 14-2 if it wasn't for Kyler Murray, Hail Mary.
My brother-in-law is just totally eating this up. He's totally digging the Bills. So
Oh, good for them.
My friend likes the Bills, and he's loving this. Listen, if the Bills make the Super Bowl, I will pull for them. If not for the dozens of friends I have that for some reason are Bills fans. Well, I wouldn't want you to.
Okay.
If the Jets made it, I'd be. I would never mind.
I never see my team in the Super Bowl, so I don't know when that's going to happen. And it's even with a number 2 pick, I don't think I'm going to see it until the night. I don't think I'm going to see it this decade. So, just being honest. Okay.
All right, so that's where we're going to call it a night. Dan, where can our listeners follow you online?
You can follow me getting blocked by New York Giants press agents at DanLaw83.
Mark, how about you? Where can our listeners follow you online?
You can follow me at Ballpark Hunter on Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. Check out my review of the Newcastle Fieldhouse that was released on Monday. And I'm also going to have new releases on Thursday because I have a lot of new stuff that I'm trying to get out there. So check that out. Let me know how you like it. Subscribe and hit me up with any questions you have.
Beautiful. And Dave, where can our listeners follow you online?
follow me at ProFan9. Literary journey continues because that's all I got. Actually, Mark, interesting. You were talking about driving through some of these towns. I decided my current audiobook is following my most favorite sports movie of ever. So I'm into Friday Night Lights. And that author somehow made it possible that Odessa, Texas is like the least likable town in the world. It's amazing. But so I got that going, and then I also have Lars Anderson Chasing the Bear, which is, I'm not an Alabama fan, but a really interesting concept of sort of putting Bear Bryant and Nick Saban side by side and through their careers. So,
did you say Lars Anderson?
Lars Anderson, yes.
Not the former Red Sox minor leaguer.
I don't know.
Not the former tag team wrestler of the Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
I don't know. He wrote a book on the Mannings.
How can there be 3 Lars Andersons out there?
There are Lars and Ole Anderson.
Yeah, that Lars Anderson was probably not really Lars Anderson. He was probably Fred Georgian Schmidt or something.
Well, Lars Anderson's probably like Bill Jones or something and
Yeah.
wrestling.
I used to write for Sports Illustrated for 20 years, but
Oh,
who
what do you
knows?
know?
Maybe he was a Boston Red Sox.
No, he wasn't,
person,
because
but it doesn't
that kid was supposed to be the next big thing. First baseman made it. He did make it to the Red Sox for a little bit. This was in the 90s. California kid, so
That's
definitely
just
not
in the
same person.
90s, like that. This
That's
was
true.
In the
That
90s.
could make him like what, 40 years old now.
Could be.
Wow.
There's
How
a
did they get so
Danish
old?
painter named Lars Anderson, but that's a ESEN.
Huh. Well, what do you
Lars
know? We have
Anderson,
learned
American
stuff today.
professional wrestler. No, let's find out his real name together. Oh, it's not Lars Anderson. It's Larry Heiniemi.
There you go.
Heiniemi.
Niemi?
Yep, he was Lars Anderson. Like I said, he was multiple tag team champion.
And your ability to pronounce his real name justified his stage name.
Yes, exactly. That's why I'm Dan Law, 83. Daniel Calaccio, yeah, no, Dan.
Kalalicki.
Kalalicki, yeah. That's why, my friend, listen, I haven't been called Dan by many people since high school. There's a few that do, you guys do, but most people address me as Calachico or some variation, like Chico or Cheeks. And I'm finally happy with that.
Chico.
I'll take
I
it.
understand. As someone who was never called Paul his whole life, I definitely understand.
Yo, Baker.
Yep.
Yeah.
With Baker.
My dad would etch his name in all his tools, but it would CICCO, which is Chico in Italian, Chico. So,
So speaking of me, you can follow my Stadium Journeys on Twitter or Instagram at PuckmanRI.
wow, that was the worst trade track diversion we've ever.
Yeah, but you know what? They all can't. It all can't. Every night can't be promised.
Thanks a lot, Lars Anderson.
Yeah, I'm blaming Lars.
Son of a bitch.
Hey, don't forget to check out our website, stadiumjourney.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Stadium Journey. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. Do all of it. We want your love. We want your attention.
Please.
You can find the Stadium Journey podcast at vocnation.com or search VOC Nation Radio Network on whatever podcast app you use. Remember, we simulcast live every other Tuesday night at 8 Eastern at twitch.tv/danlaw83. And we want to thank one more time Ben Witkins for joining us tonight. We will return in 2 weeks. It'll be January 19th when we get back in the New York groove to talk about the stadiums of New York City. So for Dan Calachico, Mark Witkins, and Dave Cotney, I am Paul Baker. Until next time, remember, you can count on the kid because there's nobody waiting around.